Hey everyone, welcome to Social Work 213. Just thought we'd give you a little bit of a brief introduction. So hold on. So just to introduce you, some of this information, all of this information is on your course outline, but we thought we'd just review some key things. So just a reminder, practicum, you are expected to do 336 hours in the field, and then you get an additional 21 hours for integration. You get 3 bonus hours because January 7th was canceled, so you can count those as act of God hours. So, and just a reminder, sorry, I cut and pasted. I see a couple little things, but anyway, the content's all fine. But if you do not have a registered social worker, you need to connect with Robin and set up, let her know so she can help schedule the times for people who do not have a registered social worker in their practicum. So the dates are there and they are also listed again on the course outline. So far, we are scheduled for seminar to be in person. So we will let you know if things change and we can't be in person. Our next scheduled one is January 21st. So we're just going to kind of hold off and wait and see for now. If you are one of the people who's doing your practicum out of the city, we'll continue to try to make some of those accommodations if we are not all online. There's a lot of ifs in this, but that's okay. All right, so this is what I kind of wanted to just talk to people about a little bit about the assignments. So I knew that, sorry, my phone went off, so I just turned off the ringer. I knew that students would be, this is what people are worried about and what they want to know. So Blackboard postings and responses, that is going to be 20% of your mark. And I'll get into a little bit about what that all entails, but it is all clearly outlined in the course outline. So go have a look at that. The first assignment, same as what you've done before. Sorry, this is really, I got some weird formatting stuff happening there. But anyway, SMART goals. So by January 21st is the original intended day. Please let us know if that is not reasonable given when you are starting your practicum. Connect individually with your instructor, and all of us are very flexible and will be accommodating. But what I'm looking for is at least 3 SMART goals under each category. So one under knowledge, three under knowledge, 3 under skills, and 3 under the attitudes and values one. So a minimum of 9 goals total. Okay, assignment number 2 is a social issue infographic. So in the past, we've done those infographics on your agency, but we decided to do something a little different. It'd be really great if you could pick an issue that is related to your agency. So if, for instance, if you are working with a population that food insecurity is the issue that you're seeing a lot, that would be a great issue to address. But of course, we're also going to be flexible around that. And it does depend, obviously, everybody's placement is different. So then the group presentation and group moderation, I'm going to get into that a little bit more on the next slide. But the group presentation is worth 15% and the moderation is worth 5%. And then the last assignment, which again I'll go into in a little bit more, is the Personal Framework of Practice digital portfolio or website. It is a great assignment, but it is a lot of work. And if you do nothing else, if you listen to nothing else, you might want to get started thinking about that. Just a reminder that students have to hand in all work. So even if you feel like, oh, I'm doing really good, I don't need to hand that in and I can still pass. No, you need to hand in all work. And of course, you need a minimum of C to pass the course. All right. So this slide is specific to those presentations. So for the 6 weeks that are listed under the course outline, what we're going to do is you're going to be divided into groups. Our groups are fairly small. Our practicum groups are fairly small, so probably likely 2 to 3 people to a group. You'll be able to pick your groups, or that's what we've done in the past anyway. And so you will be responsible for posting an online presentation. And that is what our Blackboard will be that week. So the students are taking over Blackboard. That's essentially what's happening. So when you post the presentation, you will post a presentation that is a minimum of 10 minutes or a maximum of 20 minutes if you do a voiceover PowerPoint. Um, and so it should include 6 to 8 references. We're asking for a fairly detailed kind of thing. You can include links to short YouTube clips, other kind of things that are accurate and would, be interesting, right? So we don't just want a boring presentation. We would like to have links and connections and other great things in it. So so you'll post a presentation. The other thing you will do is you will post 2 relevant articles for your peers to read relating to the topic. And when I say articles, I'm not saying newspaper articles. I mean like journal articles or um, just a really, like sometimes you might find like a PDF, like a 10 or 12 page synopsis, but we want something that's sort of academic and also related to the presentation that you just did. So the presentation and 2 articles must be posted. Then the other thing you need to do is at the end of your presentation is post 3 questions. So you are posting the questions that we are going to look at in the discussion forum. So that week, it's a lot of work for you that week when you're in the group. I know it is, but just listen. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Other years, people have told us this is way less work than last semester's Blackboard. So that 1 week, it is a lot of work for you because you have to have done the presentation and post it and found the articles and post 3 questions. If you are not in the group that week, if you're just part of the class, what you need to do is watch the presentation and read the articles, and you don't have to write anything on Blackboard that week. You just want to think. So the idea behind this was that we give people some time to think critically, to integrate their ideas, to really reflect meaningfully. So they're not just quickly putting in a post, they're actually having some time to think about it. And so you need to answer all 3 questions and apply theory and relevant knowledge. This is what will be your Blackboard mark if you are not being marked on the presentation. So that's important that you actually engage, but that needs to happen. So 1 week, the presentation goes up and the articles go up, and you view it, and the next week you answer the questions and you dialogue with peers and you have interaction. So if you're the group that put up the presentation, the next week it's your job to moderate the discussion. So you need to get on Blackboard and you need to do what Robin and Serena and I have been doing last semester. You need to get in there and ask questions and if you see things that you want to highlight, you go on and kind of moderate the discussion. All right. So I know this question will come, so that's why I included on this slide. What are the topics? The topics you get to decide the topic, but do please run it by your instructor so that we don't have 3 groups doing the exact same thing. These are just some ideas of some that have been done in the past that I thought were really successful. Vicarious trauma, working with clients with FASD or ARBD, understanding refugee families. Sometimes people picked a specific like ethnic or cultural population they didn't know anything about and kind of went in and did that. So, but the question for me that's meaningful is, what would your group like to learn more about? What do you feel like you didn't get enough of in the social work program? Then that's what I want you to do. Do something that's interesting to you and your group, and so that you learn something new and so that you have that to offer to your small group peers as well. Anyway, all right. So I feel like I'm talking a long time, so I'm going to jump ahead. All right. The other major assignment, the one I said you need to be working on right away, is the personal practice framework. Really, this assignment is the culmination of your social work diploma program. And like, that makes me feel emotional because, like, yeah, it's getting real close. So what it is we're asking for a digital portfolio or web page, website, where you share your personal model of practice. So you can put all kinds of things on that, including if there's other assignments, previous assignments that you felt were just really pinnacle for you. If there's information from textbooks or other courses, you can use it all. We will talk about this again in class, so don't worry, this isn't the last time you're hearing this. I just want to plant a seed because I want you to be thinking right away about this. What we're asking for you is to identify 5 theoretical models, constructs, approaches, or frameworks that you incorporate into your personal practice and a rationale for each. And what I'm personally looking for that is, and I've sort of talked a little bit about this before, is when was there an aha moment for you? When did the theory really click with you and your practice? And maybe it was in practicum. Maybe you had thought about Maslow's hierarchy of needs before, you had learned about it in class, but one day you're working with a client and you've just had this incredible moment where all of a sudden you realize Maslow's hierarchy of needs is it. And then you might have learned, that actually Maslow learned that the hierarchy of needs from like traditional indigenous Blackfoot knowledge. And so you might want to link that because you learned about that. So that might be one. So you want to kind of talk about what the model is and how it was meaningful to you and how you're going to integrate it into your practice. And then you might want to also include what are the challenges listed in the theoretical constructs. So for instance, I would list in one of my theoretical constructs the neurosequential model of therapeutics, which you've all heard about, you all know, and I'll talk about it even more, but I won't get into it right here, but it's Bruce Perry's model of working with trauma. And so it is one of my foundational theoretical models, and it totally influences my practice. I'm not going to go into all the ways right now, but there are some issues with it. It is, at its crux, primarily a medical model. And we know that medical models can seem like they blame the individual, which is sort of antithesis to social work practice. So I need to express that A, I recognize that, and B, these are the things that I'm going to do to rectify that. So yeah, those are the things that we're looking for. You might want to include other life experiences. You might want to include something from another class entirely. You might say, you know what, like I really learned something in anthro or social psychology or whatever it is, and that's fine. It's your learning and what theories you're going to bring forward for your personal practice. So we would like the assignment to be professionally presented, a minimum of 10 references with a maximum of 2 from internet, followed APA. Remember, that doesn't mean that you can't source library and then say that you got it on the internet. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying that we want the sources to be a little bit more academic in orientation. So yeah, that's where we're headed with that. So that's a big assignment. It requires a lot of reflection and a lot of integration of your learning and growth. So you want to be thinking right away, what are the ones that really stick out to me? Why do they stick out to me? And if I were you, I would just start making some of those notes right away. All right. And last, because I want to keep this under 15 minutes, but not least, if you have any other further questions, please follow up with your individual instructor. And we will have time together. I just wanted to make this little video because that first practicum integration being canceled, I knew students would have questions. So we hope you have an amazing second semester. Oftentimes students do feel like it's a little bit easier because they now have one practicum under their belt. They know what's expected of them. And yeah, they kind of have a little bit of a lay of the land. But anyway, great. And thank you so much for being flexible. I guess we have no choice. But we will get through this, whatever it looks like. I know we will. So take care, everybody. Bye.